Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. So we already have our model created. It's inside app models student, and now we want to pull data from the database and no longer from the array. So for simplicity's sake, we're going to comment this out. We save this, and then we refresh the page. Now we're obviously going to see that it's looking for the variable called students, and it's not seeing any students. So what I'm going to do is to ensure that this doesn't break it. So I'm going to say students is equal to an empty array. So if we save this and we refresh, we will see that, okay, this is the old class list. Let's go here. Let's go to the view students. Let's comment out this part. This is the old class list. That's the old class list. Okay, great. So the new class list is empty. If we refresh this, the new class list is empty because our array is empty. Now we want to pull data from the database using our model. Firstly, we have to, maybe we'll call use or import for those from Python perspective or JavaScript. You have to import. So we'll say use app models, right? So it's found inside app models student. Oops, sorry. So we've used our app model students. Now we want to pull data. We want to pull data about students. So we can just say students is equal to students all. That's basically all what we need. So students all is basically in MySQL is simply like this: select star from students. That's all. So in this case now we have avoided writing SQL queries. Now we are using an object and we're using a class and a static method to pull data from our database. So this was giving us the students. So for us to be sure that, okay, this has given us some data, we're going to do DIDOM students. We can comment this out. Yeah. So if we save this, we come and we refresh. Oh, syntax error. Okay, oops, there's a semicolon that's missing here. Refresh. So let's increase this and calm down. So we'll see that the DIDOM returned a collection, an array, a collection array of items. So we have a students model. If we break it down, so we'll see that we have six items in the collection. And if we come to our database, we'll see that we have 6 records, item record number 1 to 6. Let's come back to this. If we look at attributes, the attributes are ID, name, score, created at, updated at, exactly what we have on our database. So we're going to take this back so that we can try it out. So if we comment out this and we save, we come and refresh, we see that we have still the same stuff that we had. But now this information is coming from the database. Just to be sure that it's coming from the database, we'll come here, we'll know that, okay, the first one is Fungo Martin. We'll come to the PHP admin and we attempt to change Fungo Martin. Let's increase this. Let's change this to Martin Fungo, right? So we've changed this to Martin Fungo. We're expecting that if we refresh this, it should change also. And yes, it changes. Martin Fungo changes. Maybe we want to change Bar Peter. We'll call it maybe John Doe. Just to be sure that it's coming from the database. And then we refreshed our page and we see that, okay, it changes to John Doe. So we see that at this point, our data is coming now from the database just by us using a simple student all. So at this point now, we've seen how we can pull data from our database using our Eloquent model. There are more options, there are more queries, parameters, where clauses, and other things that you can use. But you can obviously always come to the Eloquent documentation. You can see other things that you can do here. For example, I talked about the table name, protected table flights. So this is the table name. So in case your name of the table is different, you're talking about primary key. You can set the primary key. So the primary key here is flight ID. In case your primary key by default is not ID, you can set the primary key. You can also do a couple of things like timestamps. Yeah, if you don't need timestamps to be managed, database connection, and a couple of others. So if you go through this, okay, this is where you're retrieving maybe flights, for example, and you're doing a for each and echoing the name, additional constraints. So if you're looking at fetching, like let's just quickly do this before the tutorial ends, or maybe we'll do this on the next tutorial, how to make where clauses and order by.